Alright, what's good YouTube? We have an interesting development here today, and this of course is going to be the spending event, because this spending event, I have never seen it before. Now this would be the first event that wuwa has dropped, but I'm gonna be honest, it's so bad. It's actually so bad, I don't even know what to say. For the price of around $20, okay, you're gonna get 3 limited pulls and 1 regular pull for $20. I'm just genuinely shocked, because at this point it's like you might as well not even spend money. I don't think this is really relevant. And it gets even worse. It gets even worse. When you spend around $50, you get a standard weapon. If I'm not mistaken, let me check. Slightly over $50 basically, you get a weapon. And it's like, okay, isn't this kind of like normal to just topping up normally? And then it gets even worse because you have the Transducer, and I have no clue why we have this, because you would think that this is the substat reroller. Guys, it's not a substat reroller. Yes, you reroll it, but you don't get to choose your substat. Use a transducer to adjust a substat of a selected echo to a random stat. This isn't, you can choose to get crit, you can choose to get ER, you can choose to get attack. No, you have to re-roll it again. This doesn't make sense to me. Let's say you have defense, right? And you're like, okay, let me get rid of this piece. I want attack percent. You re-roll it and then you get defense again. And you see how this basically just means nothing? Right? If this was done right, what they would have done was that this would be given out free. And then if they actually wanted to make the pay to win version with the ones where you can choose it, okay, I can go along with that. But the fact that we don't even have like a base one, and on top of that, their version of fixing is not really fixing, it's also more gambling. I don't understand what this is. And guys, this is basically $680. That's like $100. $100 for the chance of re-rolling 3 times. That's unbelievable. I don't even know what to say. And it gets even worse. I don't understand how it's so bad. I'm genuinely so confused. Because if you take a look at like PGR spending event, they are generous as heck. But then I'll bring up a different point that I saw because of this. So this year, around $150, you're going to be able to get Jinxie, Shorekeeper, or Camellia. Now, a lot of people know that Camellia and Jinxie, they kind of fell off. Just going to be real here. Now, if you have their SIG, you might be able to make them work. But if you don't have their SIG, they're actually just not that good. And then Shorekeeper, of course, I think most people who play this game already has one. So you're just getting extra sequence. To me, personally, I think that this basically is nothing. Because if you're spending $150, it's almost the same as just buying a character. It's not even a spending event. This is literally not a spending event. You're just buying a character. And the most important, or the final part here, is we have extra cosmetic. Now, I would say that I am not a big fan when it comes to locking cosmetic behind spending event, and you can't buy it directly if I'm not mistaken, right? And this costs $250. $250 for this crown, which is something that in your birthdays you would get like a golden crown. That's free. But this over here, it's just a different version. I don't really see the point of it being $250. You're not getting some crazy skin out of it. So yeah, this spending overall is one of, I think, the worst spending event I've ever seen before. And the fact that it's by Kuro Games is unbelievable to me. But here's my take on this, and some people might disagree, but because of how bad it is, I genuinely think that this is good. Why? Because Most people aren't really going to care about this. You're not going to care about getting an S1 shorekeeper, right? Most people, when they start, they're going to get her already. Most people aren't going to be spending $100 to get a regular standard weapon. Usually you'll be going for limited weapons itself. And most certainly $20, $20 to $30, you don't care about this 4 pool. This is really not relevant. You can go exploration, grind this for 1 hour, and you'll get the same equivalent, if not more. And then of course there's all of these motorbike accessories. I genuinely think you don't care. I don't think you care that much. I think it would be really stupid if you do spend and you're not a whale. This, I think, is aimed for whales that are going to go S6 on Aemeath or higher than S2, I would say. People that are really going to just top up in general. This is extra reward, and I know people hate spending events, right, guys? Spending event, yeah, not a big fan, but if you're not spending money to begin with, why does that matter to you? There are a lot of controversies of people comparing this to other games, other Hoyo games, and I've decided that I'm not going to do that because I want to focus on this game. I do not like Hoyo games, right? But this is a matter for this game. Should wuwa make this better? Let's be real here. If they did, it would be like FOMO. Because let's say you actually could choose all 1.0, 2.0 characters, then what's going to happen? They're just going to force you to, like, let's say you want a brand and you haven't had it in a while. You would want to pull on this to get it. But now this is given to you by 3 characters that most people don't really care about, which in return, the spending event is meaningless. It's just meaningless. And yeah, you can argue that it's bad. That's perfectly fine, right? But to the majority of players that are playing this game, they don't really care. They genuinely do not care. And you can also say that this is FOMO. Because it's not just this. They also added like these bundle skins, the bike skins. The bike skins are actually kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. $10 in PGR, this would be like $5 max. And this here, I know it looks pretty good. I can't justify over $15. It's just, this is way too expensive. I think the astrite doesn't really, just remove the astrite and just give us the skin, bro. No one cares about the astrite, I'm sorry. But yeah, if you buy anything, including these, of course it's going to contribute to the spending event. People who argue that it's incentivizing you to do that. Now, would it make sense that if you top up for the bike skin, but then Kuro tells you, no, this is not part of the spending event, even though you just spent money to get a bike? You see how that's a little questionable? It's a little weird. So it just makes sense overall that anything you spend here is going to be a part of the spending event. And once again, the spending event is terrible, guys. I hope you don't spend on it unless you're going to be a whale. You're gonna get S6 on Aemeath. It's like literally not relevant to you. And then the funny part is that they gave this thing here, which is like sort of it looks like a spending event, but then it's free, and you're getting 10 pulls. You're getting 10 pulls, which basically just annihilates whatever they just gave us over there. And you're also getting a free skin, glider skin, and then a free 10 lustrous, you know. Overall, don't really know what Kuro Games is doing. I do want to say that Kuro Games, we do need our Echo tuners. We need our Echo re-rollers, the proper one. I feel like people shouldn't really care about the spending event if in general they're not going to spend on it. People who are spending money to begin with are inherently going to get better rewards. As for how much they're going to get, as for what they're going to get is a separate story. But if you're not spending, you're not going to be getting more rewards in a gacha to begin with. So I just don't really see why we're complaining about that. You can hate the spending event, sure, but if you're not putting your money into it, then it's not going to impact you. Now, if this was a character that will just disappear forever, in that case, yes, there's an issue to be made. You can say that about the cosmetic, maybe these don't rerun, but honestly, I could not care less about the skin. But if you do, I guess, yeah, that's an argument to be made. But overall, this is just pretty goofy. Could not care, to be honest. I just find it funny that it's overpriced and it's not even a spending event. This is not a benefit. But yeah, that's gonna be about it for this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.